Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a deep breath and ask yourself a simple question. When was the last time you truly focused on yourself? Not on other people's opinions, not on social media distractions, not on pleasing the world, but on you. See, we live in a society that teaches us to seek validation from others. We're told to fit in, to keep up, to impress. But let me tell you something. If you spend your life trying to please everyone, you will end up losing yourself. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. Too many people go through life believing that prioritizing their own growth, peace, and purpose means neglecting others. But the truth is, if you do not take care of yourself first, you will never be able to give your best to the people around you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot be everything for everyone while neglecting your own needs. The world tells you to always be available, always be giving, always be working for the benefit of others. But if you do this without focusing on yourself first, you will eventually burn out. Think about it. Have you ever felt exhausted, emotionally drained, or lost because you were too busy catering to everyone else's needs? Have you found yourself saying yes when you really wanted to say no? Have you ever put your dreams, your peace, and your well-being on hold just to meet someone else's expectations? If so, you are not alone. So many people live their entire lives this way, giving, pleasing, and serving without ever stopping to ask, what about me? But here's the truth. When you start focusing on yourself, you gain clarity. You start understanding what truly matters to you. You begin to align your life with your own values rather than the expectations placed on you by society, family, or peers. And that's when real transformation begins. The moment you decide to make yourself a priority, everything changes. Your confidence grows, your vision sharpens, your purpose becomes clear. Most people spend their lives seeking validation from the outside world. They want approval, they want to fit in, they want to be liked. But living for external validation is a never-ending trap. You will never satisfy everyone. No matter how much you give, no matter how much you adjust, there will always be someone who wants more from you. That's why you must decide to live for yourself. That does not mean neglecting your responsibilities or becoming self-centered. It means understanding that your time, your energy, and your mental well-being are valuable. It means knowing when to say yes, and more importantly, when to say no. Saying no is one of the most powerful things you can learn to do. No to unnecessary obligations. No to toxic relationships. No to distractions that steal your focus. Every time you say no to something that does not serve you, you are saying yes to yourself. And when you consistently choose yourself, you become unstoppable. Imagine what would happen if you started focusing on your own growth. Imagine if you directed all that energy you have been wasting on things and people that do not add value to your life, toward becoming the best version of yourself. Imagine if you spent less time worrying about who approves of you and more time working on your goals, your dreams, and your happiness. Your entire life would shift. Many people misunderstand self-focus. They think it means cutting everyone off and becoming completely isolated. But that is not the case. It simply means setting boundaries. It means protecting your peace. It means creating a life that aligns with your values rather than blindly following the crowd. When you start focusing on yourself, you begin to realize that most of what you used to stress about does not matter. You stop chasing things that do not serve you. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop wasting time on meaningless distractions. You begin to prioritize what truly matters, your growth, your peace, your vision. And that is where true power lies. Think of the most successful people you know, the most fulfilled, the most confident, the most purpose-driven individuals. What do they all have in common? They have mastered the art of self-focus. They do not let the opinions of others dictate their actions. They do not waste time trying to please everyone. They do not allow distractions to steal their energy. They have learned to prioritize their own journey. And as a result, they have achieved things that most people only dream about. You have that same power within you. You have the ability to shift your focus, to prioritize yourself, to step into your purpose. But it starts with a decision to stop living for others and start living for yourself. A decision to set boundaries, a decision to invest in your own growth, a decision to stop waiting for permission to become the person you were meant to be. Focusing on yourself does not mean ignoring the world around you. In fact, the more you grow, the more you are able to give back in meaningful ways. The stronger you become, the more you can inspire others. The more disciplined and successful you are, the more you can contribute to the world. But none of that happens if you keep putting yourself last. Your time is valuable, your energy is valuable, your peace is valuable. You must guard them, you must protect them, you must be intentional about where you invest them. The more you do, the more control you gain over your life. You begin to operate from a place of strength rather than weakness. You start leading your life rather than letting life lead you. The choice is yours. You can continue living on autopilot, constantly trying to keep up, constantly worrying about what others think, constantly putting yourself last. Or you can make the bold decision to take back control. You can choose to focus on yourself. You can choose to prioritize your well-being, your goals, and your peace. You can choose to step into the life you were meant to live. And when you do, everything will change. Your confidence will grow. Your energy will shift. Your vision will sharpen. You will stop feeling lost and start feeling empowered. Because when you truly focus on yourself, you step into your power, and that power, once unlocked, is unstoppable. The world doesn't need another person trying to fit in. It needs people who are bold enough to stand out. It needs people who are strong enough to live with purpose. It needs people who are willing to focus on their growth so they can inspire others to do the same. So today I challenge you, focus on yourself. Stop waiting for approval. Stop seeking validation. Stop living for others. Your future self is waiting for you to make this decision. Don't disappoint them. Distractions are everywhere. In today's world, staying focused on yourself is harder than ever because there are endless things vying for your attention. Social media, television, notifications, gossip, and unnecessary drama pull you in every direction, making it almost impossible to concentrate on what truly matters. The reality is that distractions are designed to keep you stuck. They steal your time, drain your energy, and slow your progress. The more you allow distractions to dictate your life, the further you drift away from your goals and personal growth. Every time you pick up your phone to scroll mindlessly, you are losing valuable time that could be invested in something meaningful. Every moment spent worrying about other people's opinions is a moment lost in shaping your own destiny. Every conversation that drains you, every toxic habit you entertain, and every piece of negativity you allow into your life is pushing you further from your purpose. If you want to change your life, the first thing you need to do is eliminate distractions. Think about how much time you have wasted on things that do not add any value to your life. Think about how often you have gotten sidetracked by unnecessary drama. Think about all the hours you have spent comparing yourself to others, watching their lives unfold while neglecting your own. The truth is, most people do not even realize how much of their energy is being consumed by distractions. They go through life reacting to everything around them rather than taking control. They allow their focus to be hijacked by things that are meaningless in the grand scheme of life, and then they wonder why they feel lost. Why they are stuck in the same place year after year. Why success seems to be out of reach. Success does not come to those who are easily distracted. It comes to those who are disciplined enough to tune out the noise and focus on what truly matters. It comes to those who understand that time is their most valuable asset and refuse to waste it on things that do not serve them. It comes to those who know that every minute spent on distractions is a minute stolen from their dreams. If you want to move forward in life, you have to become intentional about where your focus goes. You have to take control of your time. You have to eliminate anything that does not contribute to your growth. Look around you. What are the biggest distractions in your life? Maybe it is social media, where you spend hours watching other people live their lives instead of building your own. Maybe it is toxic relationships, where you invest energy in people who do not support your goals. Maybe it is self-doubt, constantly second-guessing yourself and overthinking every decision. Whatever it is, you need to be honest with yourself and start cutting it out. You cannot afford to let distractions rob you of your potential. Imagine how much further you could be in life if you had used all the time you wasted on distractions to work on yourself. Imagine if you had invested those hours into reading, learning new skills, improving your health, and strengthening your mindset. Imagine the version of yourself that could have existed if you had been focused instead of distracted. The good news is that it is never too late to take back control. It is never too late to shift your focus and start making the most of your time. But you have to be willing to make that decision. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They wake up, go through their routine, consume endless entertainment, and fall asleep, only to repeat the cycle the next day. They do not stop to ask themselves whether what they are doing is actually leading them toward the life they want. They let distractions control them instead of being intentional about their growth. But those who achieve success, those who truly transform their lives, are the ones who make a conscious effort to eliminate distractions and focus on their purpose. It is not easy to break free from distractions. The world is designed to keep you entertained, to keep you consuming, to keep you chasing things that do not really matter. But you have to be stronger than the distractions around you. You have to develop the discipline to say no to things that waste your time. You have to create an environment that supports your growth instead of pulling you away from it. One of the best ways to eliminate distractions is to replace them with productive habits. Instead of spending hours scrolling through your phone, use that time to read a book that expands your knowledge. Instead of engaging in meaningless conversations, spend time reflecting on your goals and planning your next steps. Instead of consuming negativity, focus on feeding your mind with positive and uplifting content. When you start filling your life with things that contribute to your growth, distractions naturally start to lose their power over you. You also need to set clear boundaries. Not everything and everyone deserves your time. Learn to say no to things that do not align with your vision. Protect your mental space. Be intentional about who and what you allow into your life. Your energy is precious, and you cannot afford to waste it on things that do not push you forward. The moment you start setting boundaries, you will notice how much more focused and productive you become. Another powerful strategy is to create a daily routine that keeps you focused. When you have a clear plan for your day, you are less likely to get distracted. Start your day with purpose. Set specific goals for what you want to accomplish. Stick to your plan and hold yourself accountable. The more structured your day is, the less room there is for distractions to creep in. You have to ask yourself, do you want to be someone who looks back on life with regret, wishing you had used your time better? Or do you want to be someone who takes control now, eliminates distractions, and creates a life that truly fulfills you? The choice is yours. The distractions will always be there, but so will the opportunity to focus, to grow, and to build the life you want. Starting today, make a commitment to eliminate anything that is not serving you. Take back your time. Reclaim your focus. Build a life that is centered around your goals, not around distractions. Because in the end, the people who achieve greatness are not the ones who are constantly distracted. They are the ones who choose to be disciplined, to stay focused, and to dedicate themselves fully to their own journey. Be that person. Self-discipline is the foundation of every great achievement. Without it, dreams remain dreams, potential remains untapped, and progress becomes impossible. The ability to control your actions, stay committed to your goals, and push forward even when motivation fades is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It is about training yourself to do what needs to be done even when you do not feel like it. It is about creating habits that support your growth and eliminating behaviors that hold you back. It is about choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. Most people struggle with discipline because they rely on motivation. They wait to feel inspired before they take action. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you feel unstoppable, full of energy and excitement. Other days you feel tired, unmotivated, and unwilling to do the hard work. If you only act when you feel motivated, you will never be consistent. Success does not come from working hard once in a while. It comes from showing up every single day, regardless of how you feel. This is where self-discipline comes in. It keeps you moving forward even when motivation disappears. Building self-discipline starts with making a decision. You must decide that your goals are non-negotiable. You must decide that you will not allow distractions, excuses, or temporary emotions to stop you. The moment you make that decision, you take control of your life. You stop depending on external factors and start relying on your own inner strength. You realize that no one is coming to save you, no one is going to do the work for you, and no one is responsible for your success but you. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with discipline is the desire for instant gratification. They want results now, they want success overnight, and they are not willing to put in the effort over the long term. But anything worth having takes time. The greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders did not achieve success because they got lucky. They achieved it because they disciplined themselves to work, to improve, and to stay focused for years. They sacrificed short-term pleasures for long-term success. They understood that discipline is not a punishment, it is a gift. It is the key to unlocking their true potential. Another major obstacle to self-discipline is the habit of making excuses. People tell themselves they are too tired, too busy, too inexperienced, or too late to start. They convince themselves that they need better conditions, more time, or perfect circumstances before they take action. But these are just lies we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time to start. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and reasons to quit. If you wait for everything to be ideal, you will wait forever. The only way to build discipline is to start now, where you are, with what you have. One of the most effective ways to develop self-discipline is to create a strong daily routine. Your habits shape your future. If you wake up every day and waste hours on distractions, your life will reflect that. But if you start each day with purpose, with a clear plan and a commitment to your goals, everything will change. Start by setting clear priorities. Identify the most important tasks that will bring you closer to your goals and commit to doing them daily. Create a schedule and stick to it. Remove temptations and distractions from your environment. The more structured your day is, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined. Accountability is another powerful tool for discipline. When you hold yourself accountable, you eliminate excuses. You set clear expectations for yourself and follow through on them. You do not negotiate with yourself when it is time to work, train, or improve. If you struggle with self-accountability, find someone who can hold you to your commitments. Surround yourself with disciplined people because their mindset and habits will influence you. If you spend time with people who lack discipline, you will adopt their mindset. But if you are around people who are focused, determined, and committed, you will be inspired to do the same. Mental toughness is a key part of discipline. There will be times when things get hard, when you feel frustrated, discouraged, or overwhelmed. In those moments, your ability to push through will determine your success. Weak-minded people give up when they face challenges. They let fear, doubt, and setbacks stop them. But disciplined people keep going. They embrace discomfort knowing that growth happens outside of their comfort zone. They do not complain about the process, they respect it, because they know that the struggle is shaping them into the person they need to become. Your self-discipline will be tested in many ways. There will be days when you feel tired, when your emotions try to take control, when distractions tempt you, and when progress feels slow. These are the moments that define you. If you give in, you reinforce the habit of quitting. But if you push through, you strengthen the habit of discipline. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you become stronger. Every time you stick to your commitments, even when it is hard, you build the mental and emotional toughness that will carry you to success. You must also learn to manage your energy wisely. Self-discipline is not just about working hard, it is about working smart. Take care of your body, eat well, exercise, and get enough rest. A tired mind and body will struggle to stay disciplined. If you are constantly exhausted, your willpower will weaken, and you will find it harder to resist distractions and stay committed to your goals. Taking care of your health is an essential part of staying disciplined. You must remind yourself why you started. When the journey gets tough, reconnect with your purpose. Remind yourself of your dreams, your goals, and the life you are working to create. Discipline is hard, but regret is harder. If you give up now, you will look back years later wishing you had stayed committed. But if you stay disciplined, push through, and keep going, you will build a life that you are proud of. The greatest people in history were not the smartest, the strongest, or the luckiest. They were simply the most disciplined. They were the ones who refused to quit, who showed up every day, and who committed to their goals no matter what. That same greatness is within you. It is not about talent or luck. It is about discipline. It is about making the decision every single day to stay focused, to do the work, and to keep going. If you master discipline, you master your destiny. Your environment has a direct impact on your focus, your mindset, and ultimately your success. The people you surround yourself with, the habits you cultivate, and the atmosphere you create all play a significant role in shaping your future. If you are serious about personal growth and achieving your goals, you must take control of your environment and make sure it aligns with your vision. One of the most overlooked aspects of success is the influence of the people around you. You become like those you associate with the most. If you are constantly around people who complain, make excuses, and lack ambition, their mindset will rub off on you. They will unconsciously pull you down to their level. It does not matter how driven you are. If you spend enough time with negative people, their negativity will infect your mind. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with disciplined, focused, and motivated individuals, their energy will push you to be better. Their habits will inspire you. Their mindset will challenge you. You will start to think bigger, aim higher, and push harder because you see what is possible. The right people will not let you settle for mediocrity. They will push you toward greatness. This is why you must be intentional about your relationships. Not everyone deserves access to you. If someone is constantly draining your energy, distracting you from your goals, or filling your mind with doubt, it is time to create distance. This does not mean you have to cut people off completely, but you must set boundaries. Protect your energy, protect your mindset. You are on a mission to improve your life, and that requires being around people who uplift, challenge, and support you. Your physical environment also plays a major role in your ability to stay focused and productive. If you are constantly surrounded by clutter, noise, and distractions, your mind will struggle to focus. Your environment should support your goals, not work against them. Create a space that inspires you to be productive. If you are serious about your goals, eliminate anything that distracts you. Remove unnecessary clutter, turn off notifications, and create an environment that helps you concentrate. If you work in a chaotic or unorganized space, it will reflect in your mindset and your work. Your environment should be designed to help you stay disciplined and focused on what truly matters. The habits you develop within your environment are just as important. If you wake up every day and immediately scroll through social media, check emails, and waste time on distractions, you are training your brain to be reactive instead of proactive. Your habits set the tone for your day. If you start your day with purpose, with clear goals and productive actions, you take control of your time. You must create routines that reinforce discipline. Start your day with habits that energize you. Exercise, reading, planning your priorities, whatever helps you stay on track. The way you start your day determines how you will perform throughout it. Another major part of controlling your environment is eliminating temptations that pull you away from your goals. If you are trying to eat healthier, do not keep junk food in your house. If you are trying to focus, do not keep distractions easily accessible. If you are trying to work on your business or personal growth, limit your time with people who are constantly wasting time and pulling you into unproductive activities. You must make it easier to stay disciplined and harder to give in to distractions. Willpower alone is not enough. You need to set up an environment that supports your discipline. Your digital environment also matters. The content you consume daily has a powerful effect on your mindset. If you are constantly watching negative news, scrolling through social media, and consuming content that does not add value to your life, you are programming your mind with distractions. But if you intentionally choose to consume content that educates, inspires, and pushes you forward, you will see a massive difference in your mindset. Fill your mind with knowledge, motivation, and wisdom. Listen to podcasts, read books, watch videos that challenge you to grow. The more you feed your mind with positive, growth-oriented content, the more focused and driven you will become. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they can stay the same and somehow achieve different results. Growth requires change. If you want to become successful, you cannot keep the same habits, the same distractions, and the same environment that kept you stuck. You must evolve. You must level up. This means making hard choices. It means saying no to things that do not serve you. It means being disciplined enough to create an environment that supports your vision, not one that keeps you distracted and stagnant. Sometimes this means being alone for a while. When you start changing your environment, improving your habits, and focusing on your goals, you might lose some people along the way. Some people will not understand your new mindset. They may try to pull you back to the old version of yourself. They may question your decisions, criticize your discipline, or even try to make you feel guilty for wanting more out of life. Do not let their opinions stop you. Not everyone is meant to continue the journey with you. Some people were only meant to be in your life for a season. If they cannot support your growth, they do not deserve a place in your future. You must be strong enough to walk your own path. Do not be afraid to outgrow people, places, and habits that no longer serve you. Growth requires letting go of what is comfortable. It requires stepping into the unknown, embracing change, and trusting that the sacrifices you make now will lead to a better future. If you are serious about becoming your best self, you must be willing to create an environment that supports your success, not one that holds you back. The truth is, you have the power to design your life. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your environment. You control who you surround yourself with, what you consume, how you spend your time, and where you focus your energy. Every choice you make either brings you closer to your goals or takes you further away from them. Be intentional. Build an environment that makes success inevitable. Set yourself up to win, because once you take control of your environment, you take control of your future. There is a profound transformation that happens when you learn to master your emotions. Life is full of challenges, disappointments, and unexpected situations that can test your patience, your confidence, and your resilience. If you allow yourself to be controlled by emotions, you will always be at the mercy of external circumstances. But if you develop the ability to control your emotions, you gain a power that most people never cultivate, the ability to stay focused, composed, and unshaken no matter what happens around you. Most people react emotionally to every situation they face. They get upset when things do not go their way. They let frustration dictate their decisions. They allow anger, sadness, or fear to cloud their judgment. This kind of emotional instability is why so many people struggle to stay on track with their goals. They let temporary feelings cause permanent damage. A single bad day can make them quit. A single disappointment can make them give up. A single negative comment can destroy their confidence. When you live this way, you give your power away. You allow your emotions to control your actions instead of using logic, discipline, and purpose to guide your choices. Mastering your emotions does not mean suppressing them. It does not mean pretending you do not feel hurt, frustrated, or disappointed. It means learning how to process emotions without letting them control you. It means recognizing when your feelings are pulling you away from logic and making decisions based on wisdom, not impulse. This is a skill that takes time and effort to develop, but once you master it, you become unshakable. No matter what life throws at you, you remain in control. You do not react based on temporary emotions. You respond based on long-term vision. One of the first steps to mastering your emotions is self-awareness. You must understand your emotional triggers. What situations make you feel anxious? What words or actions from others tend to make you angry? What disappointments cause you to lose motivation? Most people never take the time to analyze their emotions, so they continue falling into the same patterns of emotional reactions. But when you become aware of your triggers, you gain the power to control how you respond. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can step back, take a deep breath, and choose your response wisely. Another crucial part of mastering emotions is developing emotional resilience. Life will test you. You will face setbacks, failures, and disappointments. But resilience is what allows you to keep moving forward despite those challenges. If every failure makes you quit, you will never succeed. If every disappointment crushes your motivation, you will never reach your goals. Resilience is built by going through difficult situations and choosing to stay focused, disciplined, and committed regardless of how you feel. You must train yourself to see setbacks as lessons, not as reasons to give up. Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger. Every time you choose discipline over emotion, you become more powerful. One of the most important things you can do to master your emotions is to stop seeking validation from others. Many people allow their emotions to be dictated by what others think of them. If someone compliments them, they feel good. If someone criticizes them, they feel bad. If people approve of their decisions, they feel confident. If people disapprove, they feel insecure. This is a dangerous way to live because it puts your emotional stability in the hands of others. You must reach a point where your confidence, your self-worth, and your decisions are based on your own values and vision, not on external validation. The opinions of others should never have the power to dictate how you feel about yourself. Another key to emotional mastery is learning to control your reactions. When someone says something negative, you do not have to respond with anger. When a situation does not go as planned, you do not have to react with frustration. When you feel discouraged, you do not have to allow that feeling to dictate your actions. Emotional control means stepping back, analyzing the situation with logic, and choosing the best response. This is what separates successful people from those who struggle. Successful people do not allow temporary emotions to make them act against their long-term goals. They understand that feelings come and go, but discipline and logic create lasting results. One powerful strategy for emotional control is practicing emotional detachment. This does not mean becoming numb or emotionless. It means recognizing that emotions are temporary and choosing not to let them dictate your actions. When something upsets you, instead of immediately reacting, take a step back. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year? Is this worth my energy? How would my best self handle this situation? Most of the time, you will realize that emotional reactions only make situations worse. By detaching emotionally, you can see situations clearly, think rationally, and respond in a way that aligns with your long-term goals. Building emotional discipline also requires surrounding yourself with people who reinforce emotional control. If you are constantly around people who react impulsively, over-dramatize situations, and make decisions based on emotions instead of logic, their habits will influence you. But if you surround yourself with people who remain calm under pressure, think rationally, and make decisions with wisdom, you will naturally adopt their mindset. Be mindful of the emotional energy of those around you. Do not allow yourself to be dragged into negativity, drama, or emotional instability. Protect your peace, your mindset, and your energy. Another powerful way to build emotional control is by developing mental toughness. This means training your mind to handle stress, pressure, and uncertainty without breaking down. One of the best ways to develop mental toughness is through discipline. When you push yourself to do things, even when you do not feel like it, you train your mind to function beyond emotions. When you wake up early, even when you are tired. When you work out, even when you do not feel motivated. When you stay disciplined, even when things do not go as planned. You build mental toughness. You prove to yourself that you are not controlled by temporary feelings. You operate based on commitment, not emotions. The ability to control your emotions is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. It allows you to navigate life with wisdom, handle challenges with grace, and stay focused on your goals despite obstacles. When you master your emotions, you no longer react impulsively. You no longer seek validation from others, and you no longer allow temporary feelings to dictate your decisions. You gain the power to remain steady, focused, and disciplined no matter what happens. And when you have that kind of control over yourself, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, yet it is often taken for granted. People waste time on things that do not contribute to their growth, their goals, or their future success. They allow distractions, procrastination, and a lack of discipline to steal their most precious asset. The ability to manage and prioritize your time effectively is one of the greatest skills you can develop. Time management is not just about scheduling. It's about creating a life that aligns with your priorities and staying focused on what truly matters. When you look at successful people, you will notice that they all share one common trait. They understand the value of time. They are intentional about how they spend their days. They do not let distractions, emergencies, or the whims of others dictate their time. They make every moment count. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is not talent, resources, or opportunities. It is how they manage their time. Time is the great equalizer. No matter who you are, how much money you have, or where you come from, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The difference is in how you use those hours. The first step in mastering time management is understanding where your time is going. Many people feel busy but are not productive. They may be checking social media, watching TV, or engaging in other activities that take up time without bringing them closer to their goals. It is essential to track how you spend your time so that you can identify areas of waste. Start by looking at your day and assessing what activities consume the most time. Are you spending time on things that align with your goals, or are you getting lost in distractions? Once you identify where your time is going, you can begin to make changes. One of the most powerful ways to take control of your time is by setting clear goals. If you do not know where you are going, it is easy to waste time. Without a clear destination, you will wander aimlessly, spending your days reacting to what comes your way instead of moving towards something meaningful. Setting specific, measurable, and time-bound goals gives you a roadmap for your time. Your goals act as a compass that guides your decisions, your actions, and your priorities. When you know exactly what you want to achieve, it becomes easier to say no to distractions and focus on what matters. Time management is also about making choices. Every decision you make is a choice between what you are doing right now and what you could be doing to move closer to your goals. Every time you choose to scroll through social media instead of working on your business, or binge watch a show instead of reading, you are choosing to spend your time in a way that does not serve your future. Successful people know that their time is limited, so they are very selective about where they invest it. They prioritize their time around their highest value activities, the things that will bring them closer to their goals. The key to effective time management is learning how to say no. One of the biggest time traps is saying yes to everything. People often take on too many commitments, saying yes to obligations, invitations, and requests that take time away from their priorities. They fear disappointing others or missing out on opportunities, so they overcommit and end up overwhelmed. But successful people know that they cannot do everything. They must protect their time fiercely. Saying no is not about being selfish. It is about being disciplined and making sure your time is reserved for what truly matters. Saying no to distractions, low-value tasks, and unnecessary commitments is essential if you want to stay focused on your goals. Another important aspect of time management is planning and scheduling. If you do not plan your day will plan itself. A lot of people waste time because they do not have a clear plan for what they want to accomplish. They wake up without a sense of purpose, and their day gets filled with random tasks and interruptions. Planning your day in advance allows you to prioritize your most important activities and allocate specific time slots for them. By planning, you ensure that you are using your time purposefully instead of letting it slip away. Successful people understand the importance of structure, and they build their days around high-priority tasks that move them closer to their goals. You must also recognize the power of focused work. Multitasking may seem efficient, but it actually reduces your productivity. When you try to do too many things at once, you end up doing them all poorly. Focus is the key to maximizing your time. Successful people are able to block out distractions and give their full attention to one task at a time. To improve your time management, start by focusing on one task at a time. Turn off notifications, eliminate distractions, and dedicate your full attention to the task at hand. The results will be more productive, higher quality work in a shorter amount of time. Another time management strategy is to delegate tasks when possible. There is only so much you can do in a day, and trying to do everything yourself will limit your progress. Successful people understand the value of teamwork and delegation. If something is not the best use of your time or outside of your area of expertise, delegate it to someone who can handle it more efficiently. This frees up your time to focus on the activities that require your unique skills and expertise. Delegating tasks allows you to leverage the skills and time of others, which ultimately leads to greater productivity and better results. Time management also requires self-discipline. There will always be distractions, temptations, and moments of laziness. But the key to success is pushing through these moments and staying disciplined. Successful people have mastered the ability to do what needs to be done even when they do not feel like it. They do not rely on motivation alone, they rely on discipline. They know that success is built on consistent effort over time, not on spurts of inspiration. Developing the discipline to stay focused, work through challenges, and resist distractions is essential for managing your time effectively. Finally, it is important to recognize the need for rest and recovery. Time management does not mean working non-stop. It means using your time efficiently while also taking care of yourself. Burnout is a real risk when you push yourself too hard without taking time to recharge. Successful people know that they must take time to rest, relax, and recover in order to stay productive in the long run. Rest is a crucial part of the time management equation because it ensures that you have the energy and focus to make the most of your productive hours. The way you manage your time is a reflection of your priorities. Time is the most precious resource you have because once it is gone forever. You cannot buy more time, you cannot get back lost time, and you cannot control how much time you have. What you can control is how you use it. By mastering time management, you are taking control of your future. You are making the most of every moment and ensuring that your time is spent on the things that matter most. The more you prioritize, plan, focus, and discipline yourself, the more you will achieve. Time is your most valuable asset. Treat it as such and make it work for you. When you think about success, one of the most important attributes that come to mind is consistency. Success is not something that happens overnight. It is not about having a single moment of brilliance or hitting a breakthrough once and then never having to work hard again. No, true success comes from consistently doing the things that lead to your goals, even when things are difficult, even when you don't feel like it, and even when the results aren't immediately visible. Consistency is the bridge between your goals and your success. It is what separates those who eventually succeed from those who give up too soon. The first step to achieving consistency is understanding that success doesn't come from big sporadic efforts. Instead, it is the result of small, disciplined actions taken every single day. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a short amount of time and underestimate what they can accomplish over a long period of consistent effort. We live in a world that is obsessed with instant results. People expect success to happen quickly. They want fast rewards, instant validation, and immediate returns. But the reality is that sustainable success takes time. And the only way to achieve it is by staying consistent, even when progress feels slow. Consistency is key because it builds momentum. When you stay committed to your goals day after day, your efforts start to compound. You may not see the results immediately, but over time, those small, consistent efforts add up. You might not notice the change every day, but when you look back months or years down the road, you will see how much you've accomplished. Success is rarely a straight line, and there will always be setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt along the way. But if you continue to show up, put in the work, and remain disciplined, you will eventually see the results you've been working for. One of the biggest challenges to maintaining consistency is overcoming the urge to quit when things get hard. It is easy to stay motivated when things are going well, but the true test of your commitment comes when obstacles arise. When things don't go according to plan, when you face unexpected setbacks, or when your efforts seem to be in vain, it is easy to give up. But successful people understand that challenges are part of the process. They know that setbacks do not mean failure. They are simply opportunities to learn, adapt, and keep going. Consistency in the face of adversity is what truly separates those who achieve success from those who don't. Another key to building consistency is developing good habits. Habits are the foundation of consistency because they help automate your actions. When you make certain behaviors a habit, they no longer require as much mental effort or motivation to perform. You don't have to think about whether or not to work out. You just do it because it's a part of your daily routine. You don't have to debate whether to read, study, or work on your goals. You do it because it is a non-negotiable part of your day. By creating positive habits that align with your goals, you take the guesswork and willpower out of the equation. Consistency becomes easier when it becomes a part of your everyday life. A helpful tip for building consistency is setting small, achievable goals that you can easily track. When you break down your larger goals into smaller, actionable steps, it becomes easier to stay consistent because you can see progress. For example, if you want to become healthier, rather than aiming to lose 50 pounds right away, focus on building the habit of exercising for 30 minutes every day. Each day you complete that task, you get one step closer to your larger goal, and the sense of achievement will keep you motivated to stay consistent. Success is not always about completing big tasks all at once. It's about consistently completing small tasks that add up over time. It's also important to recognize that consistency is not about perfection. No one is perfect, and everyone will slip up at some point. You will miss a day of work, forget a task, or make a mistake. The key is not to let one setback derail your entire journey. Instead, it's about getting back on track as quickly as possible. Success doesn't come from never failing. It comes from the ability to get back up after you've fallen and continue moving forward. One bad day, one missed workout, or one setback does not define you. It's your ability to keep going no matter what that truly matters. Consistency is also about discipline. Discipline is what keeps you on track when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting. It's easy to feel inspired at the beginning of a project or when you're starting something new, but that excitement can quickly wear off. Discipline is what keeps you going even when the excitement has faded. It's the commitment to continue doing what you know you need to do even when you don't feel like it. Successful people rely on their discipline, not their motivation, because they understand that motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what creates lasting results. One of the challenges of consistency is maintaining focus on your long-term goals, especially when you face distractions. The world is full of distractions that pull us away from our priorities. It's easy to get sidetracked by social media, entertainment, or other people's agendas. But to stay consistent, you must learn to say no to distractions that do not align with your goals. This requires self-betrayal and the ability to prioritize. The most successful people are those who are able to focus on what truly matters and avoid being pulled off track by things that don't contribute to their long-term success. Consistency also requires a mindset shift. Rather than focusing on immediate rewards, you must learn to appreciate the process. Many people quit because they expect to see results right away, but success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes time, effort, and patience to see the fruits of your labor. By shifting your focus to the process rather than the outcome, you will be more willing to put in the work without becoming discouraged. When you fall in love with the journey rather than just the destination, consistency becomes something you enjoy rather than something you force yourself to do. It's important to remember that consistency breeds confidence. The more consistent you are in your efforts, the more confidence you build in your ability to achieve your goals. As you see the results of your consistent work, you begin to believe in yourself and your ability to succeed. Confidence is built over time, and the more you show up and do the work, the more you strengthen your belief in your own potential. Consistency is the foundation of success. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and never giving up. Success is the result of consistent effort over time. And those who master consistency are the ones who ultimately achieve their goals. It's easy to be motivated when everything is going well, but true success comes from staying consistent, especially when things get tough. When you commit to consistent action, regardless of the challenges you face, you will see incredible growth and progress in every area of your life. Believing in yourself is one of the most powerful things you can do in life. It is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without self-belief, you are essentially handicapped in your pursuit of success, happiness, and fulfillment. The greatest obstacle standing between you and your goals is often not external forces, but your own doubts and insecurities. Self-belief gives you the courage to take risks, the determination to keep going when things get tough, and the resilience to bounce back from failures. It enables you to trust in your own abilities and judgments, even when others may not. It's important to recognize that self-belief is not something that happens overnight. It is a mindset that needs to be developed and nurtured over time. The process of building self-belief begins with understanding who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your potential. When you know yourself, when you truly understand your capabilities and limitations, you are in a stronger position to make decisions that are in alignment with your personal growth. Building self-belief is about recognizing the value you bring to the world, regardless of external opinions or comparisons to others. One of the biggest challenges people face in developing self-belief is the fear of failure. Many people hesitate to take risks or pursue their dreams because they are afraid of failing. They worry about what others will think or how they will cope with the disappointment of not succeeding. But the reality is that failure is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. Failure is not the opposite of success. Every successful person has experienced failure at some point in their journey. What sets them apart is their ability to learn from their failures and use them as stepping stones toward greater success. When you believe in yourself, you understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but an opportunity to grow and improve. Another key aspect of building self-belief is overcoming negative self-talk. Our internal dialogue can either empower or disempower us. The way you talk to yourself shapes your perception of who you are and what you are capable of achieving. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that your dreams are unrealistic, then you are feeding your own doubt. On the other hand, when you speak positively to yourself, when you affirm your strengths, abilities, and potential, you build confidence. Positive affirmations are not about pretending to be something you're not. They are about recognizing and embracing your true potential. If you can change the way you talk to yourself, you can change the way you see yourself, which ultimately leads to stronger self-belief. Building self-belief also requires you to stop comparing yourself to others. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your progress, your achievements, and your life to someone else's. With social media and the constant bombardment of other people's successes, it can be hard to focus on your own journey. But comparison is a thief of joy. It drains your energy and undermines your belief in your own unique path. When you compare yourself to others, you are measuring yourself by someone else's standards, not your own. Everyone's journey is different, and success looks different for each individual. To build self-belief, you must learn to focus on your own progress and accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. Every step forward, no matter how insignificant it may appear, is a victory. Another critical part of cultivating self-belief is taking action. It's easy to talk about what you want to do, to dream about your goals, but true belief is tested by action. When you take consistent steps toward your goals, you demonstrate to yourself that you are capable of achieving them. Each action, no matter how small, reinforces your self-belief. It's the act of doing, of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, that builds confidence. When you see yourself making progress and getting closer to your goals, you begin to trust yourself more. Even if the progress is slow, the act of taking action shows you that you have what it takes to keep moving forward. To believe in yourself, you must also learn to embrace your imperfections. No one is perfect, and the pursuit of perfection can often hold us back from moving forward. We all have flaws, weaknesses, and mistakes, but these do not diminish our worth or our potential. Embracing your imperfections means accepting that you are a work in progress, and that growth comes from learning and improving over time. When you accept yourself as you are, flaws and all, you are free to pursue your goals without the weight of self-judgment holding you back. Self-belief is not about being perfect. It's about accepting yourself fully and trusting that you have the strength to overcome any challenge. Another powerful tool for building self-belief is surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people you associate with can have a huge impact on your mindset. If you surround yourself with negative, critical, or unsupportive individuals, it will be much harder to maintain your self-belief. On the other hand, when you spend time with people who uplift, encourage, and believe in you, it becomes easier to believe in yourself. Positive relationships provide a source of strength and inspiration. They remind you of your value and help you stay focused on your goals. Self-belief also requires you to set realistic expectations and be patient with yourself. It's easy to get discouraged if you expect instant results or if you set goals that are too ambitious too soon. Building self-belief takes time and effort. It's important to recognize that success is a journey, not a destination. Celebrate small wins along the way and be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Patience with yourself is a sign of self-respect. Trust the process and understand that every step you take is a step closer to your goal. Self-belief is about trusting in your ability to overcome obstacles. Life will always present challenges, and there will be moments when things don't go as planned. But self-belief is rooted in the understanding that no matter what happens, you have the strength to handle it. It's about having faith in your resilience, your creativity, and your capacity to adapt. Believing in yourself means knowing that you can navigate any challenge that comes your way and come out stronger on the other side. Believing in yourself is the most empowering thing you can do. It's the belief that you are worthy of success, that you are capable of achieving your goals, and that you can handle whatever life throws your way. With self-belief, you have the courage to step into your full potential, the confidence to take risks, and the resilience to keep going when things get tough. Believing in yourself is not about being arrogant or overconfident. It's about trusting your own abilities, accepting your imperfections, and knowing that you have what it takes to create the life you want. So trust in yourself, take action, and let your belief be the fuel that drives you toward your goals. Success does not come by accident, nor does it happen spontaneously. It is the result of conscious, purposeful, and persistent actions over time. One of the critical factors in achieving lasting success is the ability to control your habits and, by extension, your mindset. What you do daily, how you respond to challenges, and the mindset you cultivate will either propel you towards success or hold you back. Discipline, the ability to focus and remain consistent, is an essential aspect of this process. The simple truth is, if you cannot discipline yourself to carry out consistent actions, your chances of success diminish. The first aspect of discipline is understanding that it is not about short bursts of effort. It is about long-term commitment. It is easy to start strong and get motivated when you first set a goal, but sustaining that momentum over time is where discipline comes into play. The human tendency is to be motivated when things are new, when the excitement is high and the end goal is still far off. But motivation alone will not keep you on track. Discipline is about continuing to work toward your goal, even when the excitement fades. When challenges arise, or when the results are not immediately visible. It's in those moments when it feels easier to give up that discipline takes over and keeps you going. The key to maintaining discipline over time is developing good habits. Habits are what turn discipline into an automatic action. When you establish habits that support your goals, they no longer require mental energy or motivation to execute. Take, for example, a daily workout routine. Initially, it takes effort and motivation to get up every morning and work out. But over time, as this behavior becomes ingrained into your daily life, it requires less and less effort to do. The habit of exercise becomes second nature, and you no longer need to rely on motivation to get it done. It is these habits that compound over time, bringing you closer and closer to your long-term goals. Setting up routines and sticking to them is one of the most effective ways to build discipline. Successful individuals understand that their daily routines are the building blocks of their success. This could be a morning routine, a work routine, or an evening routine that helps set the tone for their day. Having a clear structure to your day creates predictability, reducing the chances of procrastination or distractions. When you set a specific time to work, study, or exercise, it becomes easier to do those things consistently because they are built into your schedule. And over time, these small, disciplined actions add up to large, successful outcomes. One of the biggest hurdles to maintaining discipline is procrastination. It's easy to put off tasks, especially when they feel overwhelming or when there are more exciting things to do. The trap of procrastination can easily derail your progress, and over time, these delays can compound, leading to a cycle of inaction. The key to overcoming procrastination is breaking tasks down into smaller, more manageable pieces. Instead of focusing on how daunting a task may be, focus on one small step at a time. This reduces the fear of starting and makes the task feel more achievable. Every small step you take reinforces your discipline, proving to yourself that you are capable of following through on your commitments. In addition to maintaining good habits, discipline requires self-control. Self-control is the ability to resist temptation and stay focused on your priorities, even when distractions arise. It is the practice of saying no to things that do not contribute to your goals and saying yes to things that move you closer to your success. This could mean turning down social invitations when you need to focus on work, or putting away your phone when it's time to study. The more you exercise self-control, the stronger your discipline becomes. Every time you make a decision to prioritize your goals over distractions, you strengthen your willpower and your ability to stay committed to your journey. One of the more difficult aspects of discipline is dealing with failure. Setbacks are an inevitable part of any journey toward success, and how you respond to them will significantly impact your ability to stay disciplined. Discipline is not about avoiding failure or giving up after a setback. It's about bouncing back and continuing to push forward. Failure should not be seen as a roadblock, but rather as a stepping stone to success. It is an opportunity to learn, grow, and adapt your approach. Resilience in the face of failure is one of the hallmarks of highly disciplined individuals. They don't see a temporary setback as the end of the road. They use it as a learning experience that ultimately strengthens their resolve to succeed. Equally important is having the ability to avoid distractions. In today's fast-paced, constantly connected world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, entertainment, and external pressures can all pull you away from your priorities. It is easy to become caught up in the noise and lose focus on the tasks that matter most. The disciplined individual, however, knows the importance of focus and does everything in their power to block out distractions. This could mean creating a distraction-free workspace, setting clear boundaries for work or study time, or even limiting the time you spend on social media. The more you can shield yourself from distractions, the easier it becomes to maintain focus and stay disciplined in your efforts. Another important element of discipline is the ability to say no. It's easy to overextend yourself by saying yes to too many commitments, but doing so can drain your energy and dilute your focus. Saying no is an act of self-discipline because it forces you to prioritize your time and energy on what truly matters. Saying no to distractions, to activities that do not align with your goals, and to people who do not support your journey allows you to stay focused on what's important. It is a critical skill for maintaining discipline in a world full of competing demands. Discipline also involves maintaining a healthy balance between work and rest. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and grind, but discipline also means knowing when to rest and recharge. Overworking can lead to burnout, which will ultimately diminish your ability to stay disciplined. Taking time for self-care, hobbies, and relaxation is just as important as staying focused on your goals. It's important to find a balance that allows you to be productive without compromising your well-being. Discipline requires perseverance. There will be times when progress is slow, when things don't go according to plan, or when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. But perseverance, the ability to keep going despite the obstacles, is what separates those who achieve success from those who give up. Discipline is not about being perfect or achieving immediate success. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and continuing to push forward even when the road gets tough. It is the consistent, persistent effort that ultimately leads to lasting success. Discipline is the cornerstone of success. It is the ability to stay committed to your goals, to push through setbacks, and to keep working toward your dreams even when motivation fades. Discipline builds good habits, fosters focus, and strengthens resilience. It enables you to stay consistent, avoid distractions, and persevere through challenges. While motivation may come and go, discipline remains steadfast, ensuring that you continue to take meaningful steps toward your success day in and day out. Through discipline, you shape your future and create the life you desire.